So when you're asked to factor a trinomial and the number here isn't 1, that means you can't jump to doing a little guess and check with the parentheses. It would just take too long. If it was 1, we could say, okay, they both have to start with a t. That way we'll get a t times t to make t squared. Then you just need to do a little trickery to find these last two numbers. When it's not 1, we have to use a longer method. So I've been calling this the magic number method. You take the first and the last numbers and you multiply them. So 6 times negative 77. That makes 462. Negative 462, that is. So you're looking for two numbers that multiply to be this magic number of negative 462, and they also have to add up to be 19 in the middle. So it's going to take a while because, 462 is even, so you got negative 2 and 231. Those multiply to be 462, but they don't add up to be 19. So this pair won't work. It takes a long time to get used to finding these pairs. You got to go through all the factors. So one thing you could do is you could list them all. 2, and what do we say? 231, that would be a factor. You could list the next one, see if 3 goes into it, see if 4 goes into it. 4 goes in, I don't think 4 goes in evenly. But you could try it to see if 6 goes into it and see what's left over here. Make the whole list if you have a hard time figuring out by guess and check. Or you could just use a calculator. Do 462 divided by 16, see what happens. 462 divided by 14, see what happens. So if you play around with that, 14 and 33 multiply to be 462. But one of them has to be a negative. And so if we make this one a negative, if we make that negative 14 plus 33, that should make 19. So this is the pair that we need, 14 and 33. Negative 14 plus 33 makes 19. So we can rewrite this top part. I've just taken that pair that I found, I call that the magic pair, and I replaced the middle term with it. Now if you proceed by factoring by grouping, and don't forget to take that negative sign, because that's a negative 14 to you. Put parentheses around both these, factor out what's in common. From the first parenthesis, you can take out a 3t, that leaves you with 2t plus 11u. Okay, and then from the second parentheses, both of them are divisible by a 7 and a u. So I'm going to take out a negative 7 because I always like to make this leading term a positive. So that's going to change both signs. So it's going to give me a 2t plus 11u left over here. And you can see I factored by grouping, and I've done something right because I have two parentheses that are the same. The last step is to make a parentheses with the stuff on the outside, and then there's a parentheses with the stuff on the inside. So in effect, you're factoring out that 2t plus 11u. And then you're done. If you multiply this out, this turns out to what you started with.